In this video, we will talk about inverse functions. An inverse function is simply a function that reverses the other function, or reverses the independent variable that you're looking for. So just quickly looking at the first example, you can kind of get this right away. This is something of the form of like y equals 2x plus 3. If I wanted to take the inverse function of this equation, I would simply instead write it in terms of x. So instead of having y equals, I will have x equals. So let me just do that. So if I do y minus 3 divided by 2, then I can write this as y minus 3 divided by 2 is equal to x. And this would be my inverse function. This is just a common math notation. So anytime you have a function of x, that's like synonymous with like your y value. And if you're doing the inverse function of y, that's like the synonymous for like your x value. But again, it's pretty much just identifying your independent variables and just switching them. So we could test ourselves with a couple examples. Well, actually, this was the example that we just tested ourselves with. But again, if I write this as y equals 2x plus 3, and I'm looking for x, I simply just want to switch. So in this example, they like to switch the variables and then solve for y again. This still ends up being essentially the same thing, because this ends up being x minus 3 divided by 2 instead of y minus 3 divided by 2. But I don't think it really matters as so long as you're consistent. So if I solve this on a homework or an exam and I'm told to write the inverse function, I would just write inverse like f of y to the -1 and then write y minus 3 over 2 or x minus 3 over 2. I don't think your teacher will be that picky if you're consistent and you're getting the point across. The general method, again, is really just identifying what the independent variable is and rewriting the expression in terms of that variable. So instead of y equals, I'll write x equals, and that'll be my inverse function.